Hello and welcome back to another nighttime recording with Ben. It's Slask, pulling up the Slask. I'm back after a little weekend away and I've got plenties to tell yous. So this is going to be a little bit of a review session. As you can see, there have been another win of the league. So let's go and have a look at that, shall we? League table. Let's not look at the league table now. Don't look at it. Let's look at this one here. So last season we finished with 70 points, which is slightly less than the season prior to that. I think we had got 73 the year before. Yeah, so we won one game more previously. But yes, there we go. So we still won. We were fairly comfortable in the end. Let's look at our fixtures. I want to quickly apologise for the fact that we're looking at the review of last season and not a bit more interest about this season. Sorry, but we didn't get a bit more detail of last season, but I went on holiday and so wasn't able to watch any more of it. So sorry about that. Or I wasn't able to record any more of it, and so I went on a bit of a rampage and recorded quite a lot. And played on quite a lot. So I think we last met during the Olympiacos 2-2 game. Now we then went on we've been on a very good run in the league. I think we didn't lose again from the first day or the second day. We didn't win. Hey, are you serious? What are you awake for now? Mash is awake again. But yeah, we didn't lose until mosquitoes. Yeah. They didn't lose until here, I think, in the league until December. So from January to December. Anyway, we then played. We played on from where we were. We beat Żabcia, we beat Jagiellona. We drew 2-2 with Warszawa, where I think we came back from 2 down. We then unfortunately lost 2-0 against Torino. And we weren't very good in that game. We didn't really have a chance, and they were much better than us. But then we went back on to beat Widzew 2-0, and then we beat Jagiellonia 2-0 in the third round of the FA Cup. Sorry, 3-2 after extra time as well. That was a bit embarrassing. We followed that up with a 2-0 win, and then a stunning 3-1 win over Torino at home. Vasiliev scored an excellent hat-trick in the first half to absolutely bamboozle them. We got a couple of nasty injuries, but we did very well to come back and win that game, putting us in a very good position in the group. I don't know if you've seen already, but I'll try and show you what the group was before you see what happened next. We then went on a slight slump, I suppose. We beat Wisła 3-0, but then drew to Piast Kielce before losing 2-1 in Scotland to Rangers. But then we came back again for a series of good results. We beat Bełchatów Legia, a 3-0 home win over Olympiacos, where I think Kale scored, Oliveira scored, Mancia scored. It was beautiful. And then we rounded off the year's competitive results with a 1-0 loss to Lech Poznan. What that did to our let's just go back. So Atletico Madrid ended up winning the thing, which you'll notice is interesting because of what happened next. So what happened was we ended up topping the group, coming second in the group by 1 point above Rangers. All they needed to do on the last day was to beat Torino, but I think I keep saying Torino, but it's Torino. But I think they lost, or they may have they must have lost that game 1-0, which allowed us to sneak through to the next round, where we were drawn against the toughest team, I would say. Especially considering they went on to bloody win the thing, Atletico Madrid. We lost 5-1 on aggregate. Was a bit of a disappointment, but to be fair, we could have had a much easier side. There are quite a few sort of shonky teams in this at this stage still left in the competition. Like Zilina would have been good. Cluj, we've already beaten. Dinamo, we know we're similar levels of skill, if not. If not, we weren't able to beat, even though we weren't able to beat them in the Champions League, but still. Obviously, we could have been worse. We could have had Liverpool or Arsenal. But yeah, so we could have had a better draw and gone on a little bit further. But as it was, I think bowing out to Atletico was not too bad because it allowed us to focus back on our. What am I doing? It allowed us to focus back. It might look like the thing's being buggy, but it's not. It's my mouse just being mad. So yeah, it allowed us to come back and then have a really, really good run at the rest of the season. So after Christmas, we then went straight on. Yeah, we lost 4-1 to Madrid. We lost 1-0 to Madrid away. The 4-1 one was a bit of a bugger. I think we were 0-0 up until half time, and then they just absolutely ran riot in the second half. We then had a very frustrating 2-2 2-2 away draw with Cracovia in the Polish Cup quarterfinals. Before we went on a little bit of a spree, we beat Lechia 3-1, Katowice 5-0. Then we avenged our 2-2 draw with a 7-1 win over Cracovia. Absolutely sensational. Novikov, a new signing, scored 3 there. I'll show you through the new signings in a bit. We then went on 2 games more winning before we then had a proper little slump. We drew 0-0 with Warszawa. We then had League One team Sandesia, and we drew 1-1 with them in the Polish Cup, which was very frustrating. We then lost 3-1 to Jagiellonia and 1-0 to Widzew, before scraping through on penalties against Sandesia because of an own goal. So it's a bit ridiculous. We then played, but that meant as we were through to the final, we then played Podbeskidzia 2-1, and then we had the Polish FA Cup final against Wisła Krakow, which we won 1-0 thanks to a header from new signing Marko Srnic. We then played them in the next game and won 3-1, and then we finished off the season with a 2-1 win over Piast, which left us winning the league by 12 points. We also won the FA Cup, so we did the double. And technically we did the treble because we won the Super Cup at the beginning of the season. So that's where we are. That's where we finished last season. Now, we had a lot of transfer fun going on. Now, where is it? It's there. I was absolutely, for Christ's sake, gutted with some of the transfer dealings from last season, because halfway through the season our squad got completely gutted, basically. We know about all of these players up until here. Yeah, so AS Saint-Étienne came in for Gonçalo Oliveira. We lost him after barely one season. We had him for 24 games in total, in which he was sensational. He was just excellent. They came in, bid 1.3 million pounds for him, and they got him. The same thing happened from FC Admira. They bought Aldrius Urba from us. Doesn't seem like it's done great for them, but it's really sort of upset me because I really liked him. But he was out the door. We then sent Roberto Campo Zamora out on loan. Not too interesting, but another devastating blow. Jan was sold because our chairman thought it was too good a deal to give up for 1.3 million to Wacker Innsbruck, the buggers. And even worse, and most devastating of all, Cesar Kalle. We lost him for 1.9 million to Mersin. Where even are this team from? They're Turkey. Okay, so he's gone off to Turkey to play his trade. I tried offering them. They were the kind of players that I tried offering them new contracts when they had been offered contracts by the other clubs, but unfortunately they would not stay. They wanted to go and spread their wings, and so they bloody did, which meant we had to bring in some new players. So I did a little bit of buying players. So where's the new player? Yeah, so the first player I bought in was... Did I buy him? But did you guys see me buy him? Anyway, so I signed this guy. Yeah, I think you knew that I'd signed him already. Marko Kwiatowski. He's only 18, but he's a good young player. I signed Daniel Zbozinek. He's 18, Czech. Signed him for £100,000, £230,000. He's a decent young player. He scored some goals in the cup, but hasn't yet scored for us in the league. But he's a good young player. He was there to try and sort of fill that gap left by Urba, because it meant that we had only two strikers, and I think at one point Vasiliev was also injured, so that kind of sucked. Then I signed this guy, Lil Pachima, on a free, just because I saw he was free and I'll probably be able to get some money out of him, but he's also very good. I then finally went out and got John Monday from Vukash Łódź. He's not as good as Kala, and he won't ever be, but he filled a gap for us last season. He did fine, and he's an okay secondary choice. And now that I've replaced the position properly, so he's our kind of backup defensive midfielder. Bit of money spent on him. I didn't really need to spend that much money on him, but I needed some players in, and it was becoming tough to find anybody. Then to try and replace to try and place Oliveira, I bought in Andres Souza on a free. He's a good young for £500,000. Wow, no, it's the other one that came for free then. But yeah, so he's struggling a little bit to adapt. He's creative. He's not great attacking wise, but he's a creative player and he's okay. So hopefully they'll build into the team a little bit. But as I said last season, because we don't get any pre-season games, it makes it a little bit tough. Then Nuremberg dumped us these two players again. I then signed Marko Srnic, who is a left midfielder, hopefully to replace Jan. He's Albanian. He's pretty good. He's a bit better than Souza has been so far, but yeah, he's a nice player. I then also brought in this Ben Schmidt guy. He was 16 when I signed him. He's 17 now. He's looking like he could end up being quite a good player, so he's in the under-18 team at the moment. I also signed Manuel Teixeira, who is also 16 and young, and looks like he has a bright future ahead of him. So at the very least, we'll be able to keep him until he's 19 and before he gets sold under our feet, I'm sure. Then I signed the Belarusian Andrei Novikov to try and sort of replace Urba and also hedge off just in case we lose Mancia. I brought him in. He's okay. He scored a number of goals for us here and there, but not loads. But he's decent, and he's 22, and again, hasn't had much time to settle into the team. And then I also brought in the Belarusian goalkeeper, Valery Mishkovic, and you'll see why in a second. Because this season, we have also sold a bunch of bloody players, including Jaffa Cake, who went to Braga for £2.1 million. Other disappointing disappearances are Vasiliev went to Sion for 1.8 million. I sold Karakesh to Horsens for nearly £1 million. And that's and Ivan Uriga, who you may not even remember because he hardly featured at all last season, but I sold him for £700,000 to Trnava because he wasn't getting game time. So I got the new Belarusian keeper in to replace Jaffa Cake because Rosław is still doing okay. So this season I've signed some new players as well. Ryszard Luchak is our new defensive midfielder. He's playing nicely in the role vacated by Kala, and he's keeping John Monday out of the team, so that's nice. I then signed Valery Churvatsev for £1.3 million. It's a lot of money, and he is not so far repaying that investment, although he's not had a single pre-season game to play. He had to be chucked straight into Europa League games, Champions League games, so it's a bit of a bugger. But he's a decent player, and I hope that he will come good with a little bit of time. Hopefully, if we can get to the winter break with a little bit of, still competitive, then that'll be okay. Then I also brought in this guy, Ljubisa Petrovic, who's sort of similar to the Czech guy I've got. He's okay. He's still not scored either. Again, he was a bit of a late addition to the team. Then I signed Grzegorz Kurowski, who's a very good 19-year-old defender. He's been playing quite a lot of games this season so far. He's scored as well. He's very good. Got him on a free off of Górnik Zabrze, so that was nice. And then our lovely friend Ouattara was starting to make noises about wanting to leave, so I signed this guy, Niels Gossens, to hopefully replace him. I'm trying to train him to be more comfortable as a central midfielder rather than an attacking midfielder, but I signed him on a free, and he should be another good one. And then finally, Tomasz Goretic, who is a young attacking midfielder who I'm going to stick in who is already in the under-18s, and hopefully will sort of progress on, that we can use him a bit better there. Now, so that means that that means that this season has been a bit of a tough one, because we started with a very changed squad. A lot of the players that came in at Christmas had to then become the old hands, because we lost a lot of other key players, and it's been a bit of a tough one so far. So we started off with a 7-0 friendly win before immediately having to play in the Champions League. We got NSI from, I think they are Faroese. Yeah, they're from the Faroe Islands. So we beat them 6-0 and then 3-0 to qualify for the third qualifying round. In between that, we beat Wisła Krakow 2-1. The old hands, Oleg Davidovs and Matthias Mancia, scored to give us a 2-1 win and retain the Super Cup, which was nice. We then drew, and I thought this was where our Champions League dream was over. We then drew Basel in the next round. At home, we drew 1-1. We had been absolutely dominant, and then they scored right at the end. Is that true, or was it the other way around? Yes, yeah. So we had been the better side, but they scored a penalty right at the end, and I thought that was going to really screw us, because in the second leg away, then we beat Jagiellony 3-0. Seemingly we were in a good place. We then played Basel away and got an absolutely sensational smash and grab win. Milos Klosz scored something like a 28-yarder to send us through on away. Well, through, but if we had our away goal then, and then we were able to hold out for a 1-0 win, meaning that we were very shockingly through to the playoff round again. We then played newly promoted Arka Gdynia. We beat them 2-1 thanks to a lucky own goal, which we followed up with a 1-0 loss away at our rivals Żagiełło Lublin, which was annoying. We then played Sparta Prague, which is another. So Sparta Prague are our Champions League playoff team. So if we beat them over the two legs, we get to go to the group stages, which would be exciting. Unfortunately, we beat them 2-0 and then followed that up with a 1-0 loss over the team that you really don't want to lose against in this Polish title race, Polonia Warszawa. Now it means that we are currently sitting in 8th, I think. Yeah, so four games, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 6 points. Cracovia, who came out last season, are top, having won 3 and drawn 1. They're undefeated still. I don't worry too much that we will struggle. It's just our strikers need to really find their feet. But I think that if we play, if like the longer we get to play, we should develop into a side that scores a lot of goals again, and we should be fairly comfortably at least challenging for the title again. We're predicted to come third, but I would be expecting us to win it, assuming that the strikers start to sort of fire on all cylinders. Speaking of which, we are going to play that second game against Sparta. Now, I'll show you how the team lines up, if I can, because I don't think we've got any fit left midfielders. We do not. Right, okay, so what I usually do in this situation is Spotzinek comes over here. Mancia is going to join the team, and he's going to swap with Chiravtsev, and we're going to put Ouattara in for Kloss because he was we had the defender, we had his backup playing, and I'm going to play it like that. And then who are we going to play on the right wing? We've got Andre, but he's looking a bit tired. Do I put Savic out on the right, or I'm going to put Savage out on the right, and I'm going to put Petrovic in as a potential striker option. Right, that's going to be how it has to be, I suppose. It's a shame because we don't have a proper left midfielder, because at the moment a bunch of these players are ineligible, but Marcin Tarnowski is injured, so is Susans, so is Goosens, so is Sousa. So we are screwed for certain positions at the moment, which is very frustrating, because the thing is, if you have 3 players in those positions, we just don't play enough games to give them all time. They all get pissed off and annoyed. I don't really like dealing with that, and I don't like rotating quite so much that would give them all 10 games a season. It means that they'll never impress. So I'm going to say to them good luck, and then I'm going to say I have faith. Why is this mouse so shit? I have faith. So we just need to not lose. A draw will see us through. A win will see us through. A loss will obviously... Well, a loss 1-0 could still see us through. So we'll see. The hope is Chiravtsev would sort of come to life and suddenly bring us a bag full of goals that we can take into the Champions League group stages. Because if we get there, the money that will give us will be sensational. Mancia has scored. We are 1-0 up away from home against Sparta Prague. Oh, yes, please. Oh, yes, please. I think we might be going to do it. Indeed. just going to move myself in my sitting position to a different sitting position. I was previously sitting with my laptop on my lap, but that was meaning I had nowhere to move my mouse about, and I think that was the problem. So here we go. Bring the mic back up to my face. We are winning 1-0 against Sparta already. This is an excellent result, and hopefully this will give us some confidence to take into the league, because I really want to start picking up some points in the league. It's starting to get frustrating. Now Mancia goes round his man, crosses, Churavtsev scores. That's what we wanted as well. First ever goal in the Champions League for Slask against Sparta Prague. And I mean, at this point, you've got to say we're the favourites. We're the clear favourites to go through. They've got to score 4, and even then we would go through on away goals. So that is a sensational come up. And hopefully we can take this form into the league, as I said, because we've been a little bit stop-start. It's not like we've been pushed off the park or we've been really terrible. We've just been missing our chances. Churavtsev scores again. Come on. I mean, this is ridiculous. We haven't played this well for the 2-0 home win. The 2-0 win at home was a bit of a one-off. I thought. I mean, obviously we're smashing them now, but we were very even, and then they had a player sent off, which is where we got our second goal. We've very much done a Dinamo Zagreb on them. 3 goals in 6 minutes or something to put their challenge to bed here. Doesn't matter what they do now. So it's been a topsy-turvy few days of Football Manager playing for me. A lot of my favourite players who we've sort of nurtured from day one have left. We've still got Davidovs and Mancia, who are big players and who I kind of I hope that they'll stay around with us for a lot longer. Particularly Mancia. Oh my goodness me, Libor Lukash has been sent off. Oh, they are having an absolute nightmare. Oh dear. They're playing without a right back at the moment, so hopefully we can get some joy down that left. Christopherson's been injured. Hopefully we can keep him on. No, we can't. So we'll give Gora a run out at right back. He's not actually that good. Gora has been playing pretty on-offedly. Like he last season complained and agitated for a move, didn't get it, signed a new contract, and now has been sort of starting to be a bit poor. He's nowhere near as good as he was when he was very new at the club. So I'm thinking if we get £1 million or £2 offer for him, or if we can get someone to bid that much for him over the winter break, I might consider getting rid of him and bringing in someone younger who we can try and train up a little bit. That'd be nice. I also did some backroom staff changes. Churavtsev. Oh, Zabozinek scores. Yes, please. That's 4-0. Slask Wrocław. I mean, the thing is, I get so excited. We're going to get absolutely tonked when we get into the group stages, because we're going to get drawn. I mean, we'll be bottom seed. We'll be drawn probably with someone like Barcelona or Man United, or even Western Supermare. That would be sad. Oh no, Western. I think Western finished 6th last season. So yeah, it won't be them. But yeah, they had a bit of a collapse. It's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, so we'll end up with one absolutely excellent team, and then one absolutely secondarily excellent team, and then someone who's I don't know what the criteria of how you become a 3rd seed instead of a 4th seed, but essentially a team as good as us. So we could probably hope best of the best to get 6 points out of our group stage adventure. I would maybe like that we could take a point off one of the bigger boys. I mean, I'm saying this as if we've definitely got a terrible group. We could get a very easy group. It's unlikely. It would have to be very, very lucky for us, but you never do know. I'm going to bring on Klos. I'm going to bring on Andre for Savic, and I'm going to bring... I can't bring anyone else on, so that's all I'm going to do then. Would have liked to take a... I'm really liking the central midfielder from Gornik Żabja, Luchak. He's very good. He's playing very well. And the centre-back, who's also playing today, Kurowski. Couple of very nice players. And not too expensive. Ooh, Who's texted me? Oh, it's Sam Hamburger. Sparta Prague fans are going home already. Oh, yeah, they are. Rosław takes the kick. Well, they seem to have come back into it a little bit in the second half, even though we've scored again in the second half. Dembini, great name. Jirasek. Oh, unlucky. Wow, I mean, this is way easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to be under the cosh for the whole thing, really struggling. Mancia, speaking of struggling, Mancia has not been on the boil as much this season. I think that's because he doesn't have the partner up front, like him and Vasiliev. They played together really well, and Mancias also got something like 15 or 16 assists last season, as well as the 25 goals or something he scored. So he was just in a sensational mood up front, and he's not been so powerful this time round. I'm hoping that as he makes a bit more of a partnership with particularly this Russian guy, whose name I can't remember because I've literally only just signed him, Chiravtsev. Hopefully if he can get a good partnership with him, maybe then Mancia will start to score again, but he's been a bit quiet this season so far. Oh, it's off the crossbar. Sam's texting me again. So, this was way more chilled than I thought it would be. I'm not going to play the second league game after this. I think what we'll do is we'll just do this and then we'll come back for the Champions League group stages. If one of those games is against someone insane, I might just try and... So this season I'm definitely going to show, like, for example, if we qualify... if we come third also, we might be able to go into the knockout stage of the Europa League, I think. But my point being that I will actually show you the outcome of the group stages. I won't just play a couple of games and then leave it until next season. I will do it properly this season. So, a great win, sensational win, absolutely ridiculous, great first half. Yes, please. Oh man, we're through to the group stages of the Champions League. That's insane. Are we gonna get some money for that as well? Also, Dinamo Bucharest have a great badge. Love that badge. Through to the that's amazing. Mancia scored his first goal for how long? 10 hours. Shiravtsev scores. Christopherson's out for 4 to 5 weeks. Bloody hell. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Let's just go here. Nobody was predicting that. No, it was great. It was absolutely superb. I'm pleased. Take it one game at a time. Things happen very quickly, so we might sign somebody else, but I doubt it. We've got too big a squad. Okay, guys, so that's the situation. It seems to me that they'll probably, if it's anything like last time, they'll probably be... Is it around here that they start playing the Champions League games? Anyway, I'll play one of the first ones, depending on who it is, and then I'll see you there then, guys. Bye.